Those present, at the sound of the gavel, arise and remain standing until the robed justices are seated following the traditional cry, "The Honorable, the Chief Justice, and the Associate Justices of the Supreme Court of the United States. Oyez, oyez, oyez. All persons having business before the Honorable, the Supreme Court of the United States, are admonished to draw near and give their attention, for the court is now sitting. God save the United States and this honorable court."
Samuel F. Miller was born and raised in Kentucky. He trained as a physician but later began studying law. In 1847, Samuel passed his bar examination, which was one of his greatest successes. He viewed slavery as wrong and inhumane and advocated for its abolishment. He was extremely active in the formation of the Iowa Republican Party and was later appointed by President Lincoln to be the U.S. Supreme Court Justice. During his time at the Supreme Court, he participated in more than 5,000 cases and spoke in nearly 100 constitutional decisions. Impressively, Miller set the record for his time for the most constitutional decisions authored by a single justice.
On February 12, 1831, Myra Bradwell was born in Manchester, Vermont. She received education in schools both in Illinois and Wisconsin and became a school teacher for some years. She married James B. Bradwell, who was a law student, in 1852. In 1855, James Bradwell was admitted to the bar in the state of Illinois, where he rose to success in his endeavors. In 1868, Myra created her career and founded the Chicago Legal News. This job required Myra to be both an editorial and business manager. Following in her husband's footsteps, Bradwell also passed the qualifying exam and applied to the Illinois Supreme Court for admission to the state bar. However, because of her gender, this case had to be taken to the Supreme Court and has been labeled as the Bradwell v. Illinois 1873 case.
Order in the court, order in the court. Here today we have the case of Bradwell versus Illinois. Mrs. Myra Bradwell, you are here today challenging Illinois in the denial of the right to practice law under the 14th Amendment. You may now state your claim.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm here today to prove to all Americans that women have the right to practice law here in the United States. My husband, James, is a lawyer and judge. I trained in his law offices and assisted with legal research and writing. Throughout my career, I have written many state laws that pertain to the rights of women. Most notably, the Married Women's Property Act and the Earnings Act of 1869, which both helped women gain control of their money and property. Last year, I became secretary of the Illinois Women's Suffrage Association, which passed a bill stating, "No person shall be precluded or debarred from any occupation, profession, or employment, except the military, on account of sex."
Mrs. Myra Bradwell, the power of granting licenses to practice law is only provided to men. It is not the slightest expectation that this privilege would be extended to women. In addition, you do not have what it takes to handle what is stress and hardships of this career. In our nation's history, lawyers have always been men. Lawyers have always had the advanced skills of both being smart and emotionally and mentally strong. You do not fit this label.
In all respect, Your Honor, there is no specific way that lawyers look. I am smart, I am emotionally and mentally strong, I do fit this label. Under the Privileges and Immunities Clause, which is discussed in Section 2 of Article 14 in the Constitution, the citizens of each state shall be entitled to all privileges and immunities of citizens in the several states. This highlights the idea that no class of people could be excluded from practicing the law. This includes women.
Well, under the 14th Amendment, Ms. Bradwell, the regulations of the practice of law was independent of the citizens of the United States and thus did not protect the 14th Amendment. The idea of privilege and immunity is only up to the states to recognize. The 14th Amendment did not do anything to diminish this power. You just have to move to a state that will allow you to practice. Maybe if you were an actual lawyer, you would know this.
Why should I have to move my whole life to practice what I love? Why should I have to give up my right to the pursuit of happiness? Why do I have to shift my morals to serve your misogynistic, bigoted, and intolerant views? My sex should not determine what occupation I can receive and where I can receive it, especially if I'm beyond qualified. I ask you to understand why I'm fighting for this right.
I'm so sorry, Ms. Bradwell, but God designed sexes to occupy different spheres of action, and it belongs to men to make and apply and execute the laws. The paramount destiny and mission of women is to fulfill the noble and benign offices of wife and mother. Also, since you're married, you're not considered a legal person. Women are covered by their husbands under the laws of coverture.
Do you have any daughters, Your Honor? How would you feel if your daughter told you that she wanted to be a lawyer someday? Would you strip her from that dream just because she's a girl? Would you tell your daughter that she is less of an individual and working member of the society just because of her gender? I hope not, but it appears to me that you have no regard for humanity or equality. I question your validity as a justice, and I question your dignity as a human being. However, I would ask that you look at me as you do your daughter and consider how important this is to me as a human being.
Order in the court, order in the court. We're going to a 30-minute recess. The court is back in session. Things got out of hand. We're going to start where we left off. But remember, we are both going to be respectful and civil in this courtroom. I apologize for letting this discussion escalate, but we need to communicate better. If we continue to converse in an unproductive way, no conclusions will be made in this courtroom today. This will leave nobody happy and no needs will be met. Mrs. Bradwell, I do have daughters, in fact. They are currently young children and I love them very much. I want them to become whatever they hope to in this world, and I want them to reach the highest potential. With laws like this embedded in our society, I am unsure that they would be given this chance.
Your Honor, I also apologize for raising my voice and letting this get out of hand. I respect your values in this courtroom.
Mrs. Bradwell, it's clear to me you have unmet needs. You require choice and independence. You want to have the choice to practice law in the state you call home, and you want to be a lawyer to help defend the system. Overall, you have needs for acceptance. I know you want to be a lawyer as much as any man in this country, but it is not only up to my discretion.
Thank you for acknowledging my needs, Your Honor. It appears that you require order and stability in both this courtroom and this country. I understand that over the past decades, women were the ones to hold down the home. They were the ones taking care of our children and raising the next generation. They were in charge of keeping the purity. However, as of recently, women have been obtaining other roles and more freedom in the society. But as of right now, Illinois declares that I am unable to fit the role of being a lawyer. I see you need order, stability, and tradition, which is highlighted by your views.
Thank you for recognizing that my needs are also worthy. As a judge, people often dismiss that I indeed have my own needs and need to be fulfilled.
Even though we differ in views, through our need for communication to understand and be understood and freedom, it is displayed that it is just our strategies that contrast. At the end of the day, and by the time this courtroom dismisses, we all have needs that coincide, but it is the way we go about achieving those needs that vary. To the justices of this court, please reconsider my claim that women have a right to be federally recognized as lawyers. We are able and gifted, we will bring change to this country, and we will improve the lives of Americans.
Thank you, Ms. Bradwell. It has come time to discuss with my fellow justices the ruling of this case. As we have concluded in this case, we have decided to rule in favor of Ms. Bradwell and against the state of Illinois. It is unconstitutional that women are unable to practice under the 14th Amendment. And it is for the better of America that women provided with this chance. America is a country of equality, and this is the step in the right direction. Court adjourned.
This court case did not end this way in real history. However, if nonviolent communication would have occurred, the course of history may have been altered.